Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kenny Roy here, AnimGym Webcast for the month of October. It's November 4th. It's about noon. Close enough. We are going to take a look at the AnimGym entry. One entry. Really? Guys, you know what happens? I'm going to rant for a little while because CTN's coming up, and a lot of people go to CTN with the hopes of getting a job. And when you come away maybe sometimes a little discouraged about what happens at CTN or what doesn't happen, and ask yourself, what can you do? What can you do more? This is the kind of thing. So I noticed that a lot of people, when they did enter, like we had, I think we had 3 or 4 last month. We had like 6 the month before that, and we're doing pretty well for a while. But just one entry, even when we had a lot of entries, they were all started really super late. Okay, so I'm going to put the topic on the AnimGym forum right now, right after this webcast, and you should start something. You should start something today. If you're watching this, you should start something today. Even if you take 5 minutes to just come up with ideas, just thumbnail something. Or if you already have a great idea, even if you just set up the Maya file, reference your rig, set the frame to frame count to 72 frames, pick a camera, align that camera, lock it off, whatever you want to do. Like even if that's what you do today, and you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because starting something is like half the battle. All right, just getting it started, because then what's going to happen is it's going to nag you. It's going to be sitting there, and you're going to have that AnimGym entry that you're just like, oh man, I got to find time to work on that, and that comes. Then you're starting to get into the second part of staying motivated, which is actually coming up with a plan for making time to improve and to learn. Okay, that's how you plan for success. Okay, so I really want to see a lot more entries, but the only way you're going to be able to do this is if you start it today, and even if it's just making the Maya file. All right, and then tomorrow worry about carving out a half hour to work on it, or this weekend say, you know what, before dinner on Saturday I'm going to work for an hour and a half. And I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm just going to do it. All right, but you got to start today. Okay. So the end of rant/rant. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is the first time I'm watching it. All right. This is from Wojtek, who actually told me about this. So a little privacy, please. That was the topic. Animate somebody opening a door they shouldn't. And so here we go. And he actually told me about this idea that he had. I thought everyone was going to start outside the door, and we are going to show them, and they open the door and oops, and then close the door. But he started him off screen. So let's see what we came up with here. All right, here we go. Oh, cool. It's funny if you play this if you play this on loop, it looks like somebody who has like no short-term memory. They keep on walking into the same room. It's funny like that. Cool. So my immediate reaction, Wojtek, is that you are not playing with enough different speeds. This should have at least a few different speeds to it. It should have a that moment of realization, maybe, and then it comes to like a complete stop, and then as she scrambles out, a true scramble, a true kind of almost more impression than it is actually even movement, kind of exit. But it looks like you're concerned with getting her to realistically close the door. It looks like you're trying to get her to sort of like actually try to get a little bit of like momentum on that door, which is totally not necessary. In fact, let me take a look at something here. I think that in Booty Call, the way that Babinski, when he falls down the grate right here, this was animated by Nick. I can't pronounce his last name, but it means Greenfield. It's like Groenfield in Dutch. Groenfield. And then field. That's what Dutch sounds like to me. All right. Anyway, so see how like he's smashing. Oh, breaks the back. Right. This was totally Nick's idea to have him like start falling down the gate, and then he just put his hands up. Look, his hands are behind his feet. Isn't that gruesome? But all it was supposed to do was kind of get this sort of like, extra, just a flash, just an impression of Babinski, trying to still save himself, still sort of like scratch and claw for his life. That was kind of the idea. So anyway, I feel like what I'm looking at here is just far too like constricted and restrained, and there's too many rules to this stumble out of the room. So just put yourself in her shoes and imagine you walk in on something horrifying or really embarrassing or whatever you want, and have her like, oh God, and try to get out as fast as possible. Now, when you're recording that video reference, I mean, as fast as I just moved, that would be super, super, super boring. I mean, that wasn't nearly as fast or as exciting as it possibly could be put into an animated character who doesn't have, joints and bones and muscles to worry about. So if you watch, taking that note into consideration, I just said, watching that, Babinski kind of like fall into that grate. Now watch her and see if, like me, you get this impression that she's just way too slow. Yeah, doesn't it feel like way too slow? Also, there needs to be an instant of realization, okay? And so my worry is that you have this eye line right here looks like the moment where she's seeing something, but then her eyes go back over to the right. All right, so I think you would probably be better to take this eye dart out, so that we're not reading like two things happening, and you might even be able to take 1 or 2 frames more on this eye line to open her eyes and then have it happen in her body, because the eyes should go before the body, just by like a frame. So she looks up and eyes go up, and then whoa, in the rest of like her head, neck, torso, then down all the way through her root. She pops off the ground, but it almost looks like she's being lifted, and not that she's jumping. There's just not enough power in those legs to make her fly up as much as she does. And then she lands completely straight-legged, and those legs like stretch and lose volume right there. So that's not very strong posing. I think you're capable of a little bit better, a little bit more. This hand, as it comes into the shot, kind of calls attention to itself with how stiff it is and how it moves kind of IK, kind of floating through air, like that in that stiff pose. I think you can do a little bit better with that. And then, just kind of separating a little bit more that reaction in the eyes and the face. And then, having that travel back through the body is going to be, I think it's going to be important. Okay. So a very good entry though. So round of applause for you, Wojtek. Good stuff. Remember, guys, the AnimGym is my response to the question, what would you do if you had to learn animation all over again? All right, what would be the one thing that if I could go back in time and I only knew like one thing about animation, What would it be? Would it be like, how to do a perfect, toe roll? No. Would it be how to, animate lip sync? No. It would be that I should be spending as much time as possible, as much time as I possibly can, animating a whole lot more of a whole lot less. Meaning, for the first few years of learning animation, I wouldn't do a thing over 72 frames. For the first few years, I wouldn't do anything over 72 frames. Why? Because I will get even practice. I will plan it. I will either film or collect video reference. I will thumbnail it. I will block it out. I will add breakdowns and in-betweens, bringing it into blocking plus. I will spline it and begin polishing, and I will finish, start to finish, a shot. Why? Because I'm not attempting a 250-frame multi-character dialogue sequence with a six-legged creature and a panda bear. All right? That's what I did. And it took me like 5 years from when I started learning animation to when I got my first job. All right, 5 years, way too long. Didn't have to be that long. I probably could have done it in a year if I had only worked on stuff like this. This is the AnimGym. That's what this is here for, okay? So if you're planning on doing the AnimGym this month, don't plan on doing the AnimGym this month. Start today. Work 5 minutes. Work 10 minutes on your entry today. And then work 10 minutes tomorrow. All right, then work 10 minutes the next day and make a plan for setting aside some serious time to work on it as soon as possible. Look at your calendar, see when is the next time you can dedicate an hour to it. You'll probably work a lot longer. That's kind of how these things work. If you're passionate about animation, passionate about anything, the time just gets away from you. And then you'll be in great shape, all right? So let's give this a real big effort this month, okay? I want to see more than one entry at least, all right? All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm always having a good time. This is Kenny Roy signing off. Good luck with the animation. As always, rock on.